Hi, this is Renee from the Bass Cave. Today I'm going to be comparing 3 piezo pickups for double bass that get installed in a very different way and also lie in different price ranges. I'm going to show you how they are installed and what they sound like side by side. I'm not going to use any preamps, equalizers, compressors or blending with microphones, just a naked piezo sound. And the contestants are the DB1 pickup from KNA. This one is getting a lot of attention for being great value for money, for $100 roughly. Next up is the double big twin from K&K Sound. This one costs almost double the money, looks much more sophisticated and has a solid reputation. Third one up is a standard 3-sensor piezo pickup for acoustic guitar from an unknown brand from Amazon for only $50. Why am I testing this on a double bass, you might ask? I saw another bass player using something similar and was quite amazed how it sounded. Let's see if I can repeat this miracle. Let's get them installed. The KNA DB1 is the simplest to install. There is a small plastic loop for the jack socket. It gets attached to the tailpiece through a string hole. You would also have to take it out when you change string, but that does not happen often. It's a bit fiddly and you also might work with foam to prevent it from rattling. The pickup piece gets wedged in the bridge under those wings. It's likely to be loose. KNA provided these wood discs to give it a solid fit. Let's say it should be tight, but not with too much force. That was pretty easy. The sound of the DB1 from KNA, this is what I call a pretty bad piezo sound, even at its worst. Very nasal, tinny and compressed. You can also hear the metronome in the back, must be very microphonic. Probably the reason why it causes so much feedback during the gigs. Also the G and D strings close to the DB1 are simply louder. This was pretty bad during the gigs. A and E had no sound almost. I'm really wondering why this pickup is getting so many good reviews. K&K Double Big Twin is not so easy to put on. K&K provides these double adhesive strips to put on each of the sensors and then glue it to the bridge. Cut out squares, put one side on and cut around the round shape with scissors to make it a good fit. This is quite a bit of fiddly craft work. Remove the second foil and glue the sensors on the downward facing side of the bridge, roughly a centimeter away from the strings. This is pretty much permanent. You can experiment with the distance to the strings, but this means removing and reapplying the glue strip. Quite a pain. The jack socket is very cleverly done, easy to put on and handy to use on a gig. The sound of the double big twin from K&A. Definitely better sound, well balanced between the strings, less microphonic, less compressed. It still has this piezo tinny sound to it, which you could counteract with a preamp or equalizer or blending it with a microphone channel. Not 100% solution, but something you can work with. Now for the big outsider, the acoustic guitar piezo pickup. Setup number 1 is basically exactly like the double big twin. I used the blue tech they included in the pack. The jack socket did not come with any way to fix it on a double bass. I came up with a small piece of wood with a hole and 2 grooves for the strings. It can be wedged in between 2 strings near the tailpiece. Works pretty well, but it still has to withstand the test of time. The sound of the first setup of the acoustic guitar piezo. Not good, tinny and microphonic. It distorts the lower bass frequencies, so this setup is a fail. Setup number 2 is the way the other double bassist had it. 2 sensors get wedged under those wings with an accidental very good fit, and the third one I glued on the bridge, but in a much lower position. This one is also pretty easy to install. The sound of the second setup of the acoustic guitar Piezo wedged under the wings and one glued in the middle. Now we are talking. Of all the pickups, it has the most bassy sound of them. Very little of the Piezo tinniness. It has less of the high frequencies and less definition than the big double big twin, but it's kind of the sound that you're after, especially combined with the preamp. The big, deep, round notes are in the right sound spectrum and nicely fit in the band. It was quite a pleasure to play. So I believe we have a surprise winner. The more or less generic guitar pickup wins for me by a mile. There are heaps of other bass pickups out there, Realist, Fishman, Shadow, some that I've already ruled out as terrible. Yes, this one. And some that I've not tried at all, like the revolting looking The Band. Let me know about your experiences in the comments. Over and out from the Bass Cave.